Hey guys, you know, so I was sitting here making my video on the yellow comments from Awakenings, and I was feeling a lot of different ways. First was excitement or maybe even motivation to bring you more content on YouTube about Star Wars Destiny. Second was a bit of anxiety about this whole content creation thing. And I guess like a distant third would be what the heck is the next video going to be about? Well, here it is, and I'm going to talk about my experience on today's episode of the Double Blanks Gaming Podcast. And I'm going to try to do this all in one take just to get the same organic feeling that I got while doing a live podcast with them. And because I think it'd be like an homage to them in some way. But first, I wanted to give you a little bit of background on me to put things in perspective. I'm no spring chicken when it comes to doing live podcasts because I actually hosted and produced 96 episodes of the Impact Gaming Community podcast from October 2012 to May 2017. So I'm used to the exposure, and while it wasn't the most popular video gaming podcast on the planet, we had about 100 listeners, and that was worth it to me. And then a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting around talking to my wife about doing some YouTube stuff for Star Wars Destiny. She listened to what I had to say, and as always, she was very supportive of my ideas. She always is, no matter how crazy they seem to be. And I decided to make my welcome video that night. Then I did my first video on Red Commons, and I kind of caught the bug in the content creation. I started plugging my stuff all over Reddit and even the Star Wars Destiny Facebook groups. And I had never used Facebook before. I still only have a business account, which I've sort of transformed into my everyday account just to browse. But in retrospect, that was very telling for me, and I knew that I was probably going to be trying to take this thing as far as I could. So right now, I'm like 5 or 6 videos in as of yesterday, and I get a PM on Reddit from Sir Christopher. I initially got the email notification on my phone, and I didn't look at it for a few hours. It was just like, hey, you've got a message from Reddit. And I didn't open it right away because I was actually in the middle of a Destiny tournament. So I drive, I get home, and I read it, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, oh my God, of course I want to be on your show, like almost in all caps. And then I realized I was probably pretty unprofessional, so I replied again with a more level-headed response. He told me they record on Sunday, which I already knew because I've listened to literally every one of their podcasts during my episodes during my commute to work, and I got to meet them today on Skype for about an hour before the show. And, when you meet people like this in the community, no matter how famous they are or whatever, we can all get a little starstruck, and that's totally how I felt. I was like in awe that I was in a Skype call with these guys, and in less than an hour, I was going to be on their show. I knew they were mad cool, though, because I've watched literally all their stuff. I felt like I already knew these guys, but even then it was like, wow, here I am. Like, we're totally going to do this. And I told them straight up, you guys are like celebrities to me. I'm just starting out, and you guys have a well-established channel already. Hell, I was amazed that they had even seen my stuff, because even though we run in the same circles on Facebook and Reddit, I'm thinking, what use do they have to even take a look at my videos, or any YouTube channel with like 20 subscribers? I'm small fish, but they didn't treat me like that. To them at that moment, I was their equal. They had clearly watched some of my stuff and knew enough about me from that to know that I could hold a conversation with them. So, Jay and Chris made it very easy to work with them, and it felt really natural as we were doing the episode. They told me they wish someone had helped them get started and that they wanted to help me. And I was just really, really humbled by all of that. If you've seen any of my stuff, you've probably figured out too that I script much of it. I mean, I've even written down most of what I'm saying right now. And I do a lot of takes to get the perfect shots, so I can kind of figure that out in post and stuff. And I always choose the right ones so that I'm not tripping over my words and whatnot. But these guys do it raw, which is exactly what Jay said to me before we got started. I could hang with them, I figured, because I did like 100 live shows already in my lifetime. So that helped, But above all, the way that they let me feel like I fit in was the best feeling that I've had in a while. and it really makes me feel like I'm going to do good things for the game and for myself right now. So I know I've already said thank you like a million times to them, but I want to say it again in case they watch this video. Thank you, Jay and Chris, for making me feel welcome in the content creator community for Star Wars Destiny. I really, really appreciate it. I the only way I can describe it is, I feel like $1 million right now, and I owe a lot of that to you guys. And of course, I appreciate everyone for watching this stuff, even though it really has nothing to do with Destiny directly. And thank you for the support from the fans who have left comments on Facebook, in some of my YouTube videos, who've spoken to me on Discord. You know, that really means a lot to me that you guys are paying attention, even when you're correcting me for something that I need to do better, or something that I got wrong in a video. That means you're paying attention, and that is like the best thing you can have, to be like, oh, okay. Because I don't hear, oh, I was wrong about that. I hear, I watched your video and I wanted you to know that you said this. And I'm like, wow, someone was actually paying attention. I'm not just talking into this microphone and, putting it out on the internet and no one's paying any attention. So, thank you again, Jay and Chris, and thank you for all the fans who watch my stuff. And until next time, may the force be with you.